The trade station floated in silence near a small blue star. Ships from many worlds moved slowly around it like careful insects. Humans called the place Dawn Ring. To others, it was just another stop where goods and words were traded. For June, it was work and duty. He stood near the wide glass wall and watched stars burn far away. He was a human envoy, trained to speak, listen, and stay calm when fear appeared. June had learned early that the galaxy was not kind. Many species judged each other with cold eyes. Some judged by strength, others by shape, color, or sound. Humans were strange to them, because humans looked past these things. That was why June was here. Behind him, voices rose and fell. Merchants argued. Guards walked in slow lines. A group of tall beings with silver skin passed by, laughing softly. Their eyes turned toward a quiet figure standing alone near a service door. Their laughter changed into sharp sounds. June followed their gaze. She stood very still. Her skin was pale gray and marked with deep lines that looked like old burns. One side of her face was not smooth. Metal lines ran from her neck to her shoulder, partly hidden under dark cloth. Her eyes were large and dark, watching the floor instead of the people. Others moved around her as if she carried a sickness. June felt a tight pull in his chest. He had seen this before on other worlds. Shame given by crowds. Silence forced on one soul. A station worker passed near her and muttered a word in a sharp tone. Others nearby repeated it with small laughs. The meaning was clear, even without full translation. Hideous, broken, unfit. The woman did not react. She had learned not to. June took a slow breath. He reminded himself of training. Do not rush. Do not judge back with anger. Walk with respect. He stepped away from the glass wall and moved toward her. Each step felt louder than it was. Some eyes turned to him, curious. A human walking toward the unwanted was rare. When he reached her, he stopped at a polite distance. He lowered his hands to show he carried no threat. My name is June, he said in clear, basic speech. I work here. She lifted her eyes just enough to see him. Surprise flickered across her face, then caution. Her voice came out soft and controlled. Era, she replied. You should not stand here. Why not? June asked gently. Her fingers tightened around the strap of her bag. Because people do not like to see me. June looked around. A few beings were watching. Others had already lost interest. I like to see who I speak with, he said. It helps me listen better. Era frowned slightly, as if trying to understand a strange tool. You are human, she said. Humans are careless. Sometimes, June agreed. Sometimes we are careful in different ways. Silence settled between them. The hum of the station filled the space. Era shifted her weight, ready to leave. You are waiting for transport, June said, noticing the mark on her bag. Yes, she answered. I am being sent away. From where? He asked. This station, she said. And others? June nodded slowly. He had heard similar stories. Would you like to sit while you wait? He asked. There is a bench nearby. Era looked at the bench, then at the people near it. Her shoulders stiffened. They will complain. They can complain, June said. I will listen to them later. Something strange happened then. Era did not smile. She did not thank him. She simply froze. Her body became very still, as if his words had struck an invisible wall inside her. June noticed and softened his voice. I did not mean to cause trouble, he said. No, Era said quickly. It is not trouble. It is just unexpected. They walked together to the bench. June sat first, leaving space. Era sat carefully, keeping her eyes low. Minutes passed. Ships docked and left. No one spoke to them. Why do they treat you this way? June asked at last. Era's jaw tightened. Because I failed to remain perfect, she said. My people believe form shows worth. And you, June asked, do you believe that? She hesitated. I was taught it since birth. June looked at her scars again, not with fear, but with focus. What caused them? He asked. A reactor breach, Era said. I stayed behind to seal it. Others escaped. How many? June asked. Thousands, she replied. June felt the tight pull again, stronger now. On Earth, he said, we would call that brave. Era's eyes widened slightly. Brave, she repeated, tasting the word. Yes, June said. Someone who chooses danger so others can live. Era looked away. Bravery does not change what I am. June shook his head. It tells me exactly what you are. She turned back to him, confusion clear. What do you see when you look at me? She asked. June did not answer right away. He chose his words with care. I see someone strong, he said. Someone kind enough to stay when leaving would be easy. Her breath caught. She stared at him as if he had spoken nonsense. You are beautiful, June added quietly. The word hung between them. Era froze again. This time her hands trembled. Her eyes locked on his face, searching for mockery. She found none. That word, she whispered. You should not use it on me. I use it because I mean it, June said. Her transport signal chimed. Era stood too fast, almost dropping her bag. She stepped back, creating distance. I do not understand humans, she said. We understand slowly, June replied. She hesitated and gave a small nod. Without another word, she turned and walked toward the gate. June watched her go, knowing something important had begun, even if neither of them could yet name it. The transport carried Era away from Dawn Ring, but the human's words stayed with her. She stood alone inside the small vessel, holding a rail as stars stretched into thin lines. She had heard many words in her life. Orders, insults, silence. Never that word. Beautiful. It echoed in her mind, like a sound with no source. Era pressed her fingers against the metal lines on her neck. They were cold and real. Proof of what she had lost. Proof of why her people turned away. She told herself the human was wrong or confused. Humans were known for strange ideas. Yet his eyes had not lied. There had been no fear in them. No pity. Only calm truth. The vessel docked at a research platform near the edge of the system. Era was assigned temporary work, maintaining old data cores. It was quiet work meant for those no one wished to see. She preferred quiet. Still, as she walked the empty halls, she kept thinking of the bench and the human who had chosen to sit beside her. On Dawn Ring, June returned to his duties, but his focus slipped. He replayed the moment she froze. He had seen shock before, but this was deeper, as if a wall had cracked inside her. June filed reports and attended meetings, yet his thoughts drifted back to Era. Days later, an alert shook the station. Sirens rang low and sharp. Pirates had attacked a supply convoy and fled toward the outer platforms. Dawn Ring prepared emergency teams. June was called to assist with communication. He moved quickly through corridors. Pulling on a light shield vest, a familiar name appeared on his display. Era, assigned to the outer research platform, now in the pirate's path. June felt his stomach tighten. He contacted command at once. That platform has limited defense, he said. We need evacuation. There is no time, came the reply. We can only lock systems and wait. June did not argue further. He sent a private channel request. Era was bent over a data panel when the message arrived. She straightened at the human name. Her first instinct was to ignore it. Humans brought confusion. Still, she answered, Era, June said, his voice steady but urgent. Pirates are approaching your sector. I know, she replied. The alarms are active. Can you reach the control core? He asked. Yes, she said. Why? There may be a way to mask the platform, June said. But the system language is old. Era paused. I helped design it, she said. Then please, June said, try. She moved without another word. Era ran through narrow halls, ignoring pain as old scars pulled tight. She reached the core chamber and linked her implants to the system. Data rushed into her mind. The old codes were broken, abandoned, perfect. She worked fast, rewriting signals, bending power flow. Outside, pirate ships scanned empty space. Their sensors slid past the platform without locking on. Minutes passed. Then the ships moved on. Era disconnected and sank against the wall, breathing hard. The platform was safe. June let out a breath he had been holding. You did it, he said. Yes, Era replied. You saved everyone there. June said, I only did my work, she answered. That is what humans call hero work. June said. Silence followed. Then Era spoke, quieter. Why do you speak like this to me? Because it is true, June said. After the crisis, June requested permission to visit the platform. It was granted with little interest. No one else wished to go. When he arrived, Era was waiting near the airlock. She stood stiffly, unsure what to do. June approached slowly. You came, she said. I said I would listen, he replied. They walked through the quiet halls together. Era showed him the core. She explained how the systems worked and how her people valued clean design and perfect symmetry. June listened closely. And when the accident happened, June asked, they blamed you. Yes, Era said. I lived. The system failed. My body changed. That was enough. June stopped walking. On Earth, he said, many of our heroes carry scars. Era looked at him. Then why do they still look at me with disgust? Because they fear what you remind them of, June said. That perfection can break. Era lowered her eyes. Then why do you not fear me? June smiled slightly. Because humans broke long ago. We learned to keep going. Era studied his face. Slowly, something inside her shifted. Not belief. Not yet. But doubt. Doubt in the cruel rules she had followed. When June prepared to leave, Era walked him to the airlock. You used that word again in your report, she said quietly. Which word? June asked. Beautiful, she said. Yes, June replied. She hesitated. If I accept it, she said, everything I know becomes wrong. Sometimes that is how change begins, June said. Era nodded once. She did not freeze this time. She only stood still, thinking as the door closed and the human ship departed. The days after the pirate attack did not bring peace. Words traveled faster than ships. Stories spread across stations and worlds. A human had trusted a marked one. An outcast had saved a platform. Some called it luck. Others called it a flaw in command. Era felt the change before she heard the summons. Messages stopped arriving. Access doors opened slower. Eyes followed her again, but this time with sharp focus. She was called to return to the Central Council on Dawn Ring. She stood inside, the wide chamber where light fell from a high ceiling. Leaders of many species sat in curved rows. Their shapes were different, but their faces held the same cold calm. Era stood alone in the center. You acted without approval, one voice said. I acted to save lives. Era replied, you used restricted systems. Another said, I used knowledge, I helped. Create, she answered. A low sound moved through the chamber. Displeasure, judgment. You continue to disrupt order, the first voice said. Your condition already brings unrest. Era felt the familiar weight press on her chest. She lowered her eyes. Then punish me, she said. A door opened behind her. June walked into the chamber. A ripple moved through the council. Humans rarely spoke without request. June stopped beside Era, not touching her, but close enough to be seen as standing with her. I request the right to speak, June said. You are not summoned, a voice replied. I came anyway, June said. Because this concerns humanity. Silence followed. Then permission was given. June faced the council. Era prevented loss of life, he said. She used skill and courage. She is flawed, a leader said. She is proven, June replied. Murmurs rose. June continued before they could stop him. Humans are flawed, he said. Our bodies break. Our worlds scar. Yet we endure. That is why we survived. Era lifted her eyes. She had never heard anyone speak like this in such a place. You praise weakness, a leader said. No, June said. I praise choice. The council shifted. Some leaned forward. Others turned away. Era chose to stay when escape was easier, June said. If that is a crime, then you punish the wrong thing. Era's hands shook. She wanted to tell him to stop. She feared the cost. One voice cut through the chamber. Human, it said. Do you claim this one as your equal? Yes, June said without pause. The word struck the room like a dropped tool. Then you share her stain, the voice said. If that is the price, June said. Humans have paid worse. The council withdrew to decide. Era and June were left standing. You should not have come, Era whispered. I said I would listen, June replied. That includes speaking. The council returned. Their decision was cold and clear. Era was removed from her position. She was barred from shared systems. She was ordered to leave Dawn Ring space. June was censured. Humanity was warned. Outside the chamber, Era stopped walking. Her shoulders sagged. I ruined you, she said. June shook his head. You showed them who you are. And they rejected it, Era said. Change takes time, June replied. Era was assigned transport to a remote relay world. June escorted her to the dock. The path was quiet. Many watched but did not speak. At the gate, Era turned to him. Why do you continue? She asked. It brings you loss. Because someone once did the same for us, June said. Era searched his face. Your people must be strange. We are, June said softly. She paused. When you said that word before, she said, I thought it was a mistake. And now, June asked, I think it is a weapon, Era said. One that breaks lies. June smiled. Use it carefully. The transport doors opened. Era stepped inside, then stopped. I do not see myself as you see me, she said. Not yet. Ah, that is all right, June replied. I will hold the view until you can. The doors closed. The ship pulled away. June stood watching until it vanished. Around him, the station returned to routine. Trade continued. Words faded. Far away, Era arrived on the relay world. It was small and quiet, built around old machines. She walked its empty paths and felt something new beneath the familiar ache. For the first time, when she passed a reflection, she did not turn away at once. She looked a moment longer, searching not for perfection, but for truth. The relay world was quiet until the sky changed. Era noticed it first while repairing a power node. The light above the metal planes shifted, not darker, but sharper, like a blade of white cutting through blue. The ground hummed. Old machines woke and began to speak in broken signals. Era froze, listening. She knew this language. She had helped write parts of it long ago, before the accident, before the blame. The signals carried a simple rule repeated again and again. Purity confirmed. Deviation removed. She felt cold spread through her chest. The ancient machine was waking. Across the system, alarms spread. Worlds lost contact. Stations went silent. Sensors showed massive structures unfolding from hidden orbits. The machines judged life by shape and pattern. Anything that did not fit was marked for erasure. On Dawn Ring, June stood in the command hall as reports flooded in. He read the core phrase and felt anger rise. He had seen this thinking before, even on Earth, long ago. Perfect or nothing. Who understands this system? A commander asked. June answered at once. Era. She was exiled, another said. She was right, June replied. Permission came quickly. There was no time for pride. Era stood alone when the human ship landed on the relay world. She watched it descend with a mix of fear and relief. June stepped out, face set with purpose. You felt it too, he said. Yes, Era replied. It is worse than before. Can you stop it? June asked. Era looked at the horizon where light bent around rising metal forms. I can reach it, she said. Others cannot. Because of your scars, June said. Yes, Era replied. The machine sees me as incomplete. It lets me pass. June nodded. Then we go together. They traveled toward the core site, where the machine rose like a city made of knives. Defense fire from many worlds struck it and failed. Ships burned in silence. Era led June through broken access paths. Her implants sensed with the ancient code. Pain flared, but she stayed focused. The machine spoke to her directly. Deviation detected. Submit for correction. Era answered aloud. No, she pushed deeper, rewriting rules, bending logic. The machine resisted. It showed her images of perfection, smooth forms without marks, without choice. You do not see life, Era said. You see only shapes. June watched her struggle, unable to touch the system, but present. When her strength faltered, he spoke. You stayed once, he said. Stay again. Era remembered the bench, the word that froze her, the human who stood beside her in judgment. She changed the core rule. Worth is not form. Worth is choice. The machine shook. Its light flickered. Systems argued with themselves. The purity code broke apart. Across the system, the machine slowed, then stopped. The threat ended not with fire, but with a change of meaning. Era collapsed. June caught her. You did it, he said. No, she replied weakly. We did. Days later, the council gathered again, this time in fear and awe. Worlds still stood because of the one they had cast aside. Era was invited to speak. She stepped forward, scars visible, posture steady. I was called broken, she said. Yet my broken parts saved you. No one interrupted. June stood behind her. Silent and proud, the council changed its laws that day. Slowly, carefully. But the words were written. When it was over, Era and June stood by a quiet window, stars calm again. You saved the galaxy. June said. Era shook her head. You saved me first. June smiled. I only told the truth. Era looked at her reflection in the glass. She did not turn away. She did not freeze. She stood, breathing, alive, and for the first time, unafraid. The galaxy did not change in a single day. It moved slowly, like light crossing deep space. After the machine fell silent, worlds counted what they still had. Ships returned from hiding. Stations reopened halls that had been sealed for fear. Life continued. Careful and shaken. Era stayed on Dawn Ring for a time, not as an exile, not as a hero on display, but as a guide. Councils asked her to explain what she had done. Engineers asked her to help rewrite old systems. Some still avoided her eyes, but fewer spoke the old words. She noticed the change in small things. Doors opened without delay. Seats were not quietly taken away when she approached. Silence followed her less often. June watched this from nearby, working as he always had, speaking when needed, listening when it mattered more. He did not stand in front of Era now. He stood beside her. One evening, they walked along the outer ring where stars were clear and traffic was light. The glass wall reflected them both. Era paused, studying the image. "I used to look only for what was wrong," she said. "And now?" June asked. "Now I look for what remains," she replied. June nodded. "Humans do that too." Era was offered a permanent position within the Union. It came with honors and safe quarters, and words of praise spoken in careful tones. She listened, then declined. "I will help," she said, "but I will not hide behind titles." Some leaders frowned. Others understood. She chose instead to travel. There were many worlds still ruled by old thinking. Places where those marked as different were pushed aside. Era wanted to see them, not as a ruler, as proof. June met her at the dock when her ship was ready. "You are leaving again," he said. "Yes," Era replied. "But this time, I choose it." "That makes all the difference," June said. She hesitated, then spoke quietly. "On the bench, when you said that word, I froze because it broke my world." "And now?" June asked. "Now it builds a new one," she said. They stood there as ships passed, small lights against endless dark. "I still do not see myself as others see me," Era added. "But I am learning." June smiled. "Learning is enough." Before she boarded, Era turned back once more. "When humans say beauty," she asked, "what do they mean?" June thought for a moment. "We mean the will to stay kind in a hard universe." Era nodded. "Then I understand." Her ship departed, not in silence, but in calm. Months passed. Stories followed her path. On a mining moon, she stopped a purge before it began. On a water world, she helped redesign shelters to fit those once called flawed. Each place resisted at first. Each place changed a little. Humans were spoken of often in these stories, not as conquerors, as witnesses. Those who stood and said no when the universe tried to measure worth by shape alone. On Dawn Ring, June received messages from distant systems. Some thanked him. Some argued. Some asked why humans cared so much. He answered simply, "Because one day we were the ones called broken." Years later, Era returned to Dawn Ring, not for counsel, not for praise. She came to sit on the same bench. June was already there, older now, lines at the edges of his eyes. "You remembered," he said. "Yes," Era replied. "This is where it began." They sat together as they once had. People passed. Some glanced. No one laughed. Era looked at the stars, then at June. "Say it again," she said. June did not rush. He looked at her, at the scars that had saved worlds, at the calm strength in her eyes. "You are beautiful," he said. Era did not freeze. She breathed in, steady and sure, and smiled. In that moment, the universe did not change its laws or rewrite its stars, but it learned, slowly and truly, that humanity's greatest strength was not power or weapons. It was the courage to see worth where others refused to look.